how's everybody doing? So this is the foliage flat that's going to go in behind the grain elevator. Just to the left of the intersection there. And I'll just describe quickly how I built this. This back plate here that's been spray painted brown is just a piece of 40 thou scrap plastic. You can use wood or cardboard if you really want to. And then what I did was I just hot glued some baby's breath down for these deciduous tree branch work here. And then I laid over top some garden moss, which is, I bought it, I think Michael's as well. And I soaked the whole thing down with diluted carpenter's glue and water. Or you can use matte medium as well. Matte medium has a more flatter kind of finish. So you can see this is fairly hard and robust now. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to just spray bomb it down with Rust-Oleum dark brown. In this case, it's called Satin Espresso, just to darken this branch work up. And then I'm going to flock this, not with static grass. I don't need any for this because it's a good enough branch infrastructure on the baby's breath. I'm just going to flock it with some various ground foams from Woodland Scenics in various colors, and then possibly airbrush it. We'll see how it turns out. Okay? Okay, so we're finished the paint phase here, and what I did was I chose to defer the spray bomb to the airbrush. As most of you know, I love to use an airbrush, and it's my go-to tool in this hobby predominantly. And so what I did was I just airbrushed with Tamiya, sort of dark brown with black mixed, and isopropyl base. It dries instantly. I can flock this now, so I don't have to wait. You can choose to spray bomb it, and that's fine, but you're probably going to have to wait overnight for it to dry, unless it's possibly Krylon, which dries quite quickly, but in this case I don't have any. So also with the airbrush I can transition all these branches to the hedge line without having to mask anything. It just blends in nice and you can't really notice, and it's got a soft transition. Okay, so now it's ready for flocking. Okay, so here's the flocking section, and all I did was I used coarse turf medium T64 and fine turf green grass T45, and I mix equal parts together. Maybe 60-70% of this fine turf to this coarse. Just I mix it all together first. It just helps to separate the larger chunks and puts a buffer between them. And then you just 3M and then sprinkle on. And if you can't do that part, there's no hope for you. Okay, let's go to the layout and see what it looks like. Okay, so here's the foliage flat in place here. And for those of you that are not aware, the grain elevator sits right in front of here. So a lot of this sort of disappears, but sort of blends into that. And then let me just pan down to the left here a bit with the tree grove here. So this is going to change just a little bit now as we're evolving the layout from left to right. I've got a couple more trees I want to work in down here, some smaller ones. I want a little more in the foreground. Remember I talked about tapering things in a short depth from the foreground low, then higher as you go back. Then I'm going to move these trees down about another inch or so. I'm going to shift them down a bit because I need room right here for the old growth tree vignette, Three Sisters. It's going to fit right in here nice, and then that's going to tie this whole area up pretty much for all the major work that's been done already, except for I'll go back later and do some detail passes, but we're moving right along, right? And then we're going to get to this building flat and transition this into the photo that goes here in the intersection. Okay, and then also you can see that I added this little blue office building in right here. I finished painting that. This was just an add-in, right? Because I need a transition zone for the street view that I'm putting in there, or the photograph I took from the actual site at Crush Crescent and Glover Road. Okay, and then the little ugly corner is not so ugly anymore. It's getting there. Like I repainted this building. I took it out and give it another do-over because I wanted to weather the roof up, and then I let some of the rust and that run down the sides, and then I blended over with some really light white again and added a little, some stains and so on. So that's coming along. It's all coming together. And so the next upload will be probably the Three Sisters vignette, which will sit right to the left of the grain elevator here. And then it should fill in and fit in nice the way I visualized. And then I'm going to deal with this here. So this is coming up too. Okay? Thanks for watching, and I hope you have a great day.